Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a recap of the Commander Masters Day of Release EV. If you saw my previous video about the EV of this set, you would know that the value on singles was extremely high, and I just wanted to give a follow-up because prices have moved dramatically in the last week. And this is usually pretty expected. However, I think it is important that you guys understand and know what's going on before commit $300 or more buying a single bit of this product. So without further ado, let's see what has happened. So boxes of distribution are at distribution break even. So currently you can see that at set boxes, the EV of packs, after I recalculated all of this, I literally just did this 10 minutes ago, um, are retailing, basically selling at break-even prices at $332 a box. You can buy them on eBay right now from this specific vendor. I'm not going to give them a particular shout out, but there's other ones at $295 and $300 and $305. And with taxes, you're looking at $337 after tax. And the set EV for that set box is about $5, so plus or minus, which, given the margin of error of this analysis, given the fluctuation of prices, and your actual realized value is going to vary dramatically from this. So what it is important to see here is that prices have moved significantly, and we have to kind of understand what has occurred since between last week and this week, last Friday and this Friday. Well, currently today's Thursday, the 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th, which is release day. So let's see what happened. Actually, we're going to look at, is this worrisome? So sets tend to have negative value on day of release, even like a typical standard set. So if you open a box of Streets of New Capenna and you spend 120 after tax at your LGS, which is what mine charges, I'm fine to pay it. It helps support the store. It's a good time. And I get to open packs. I realized about $60 to $80 of profit, or not a profit, but a value that day. And that is including the fact that I did open up Fable of the Mirror Breaker as well as a couple other chase cards from that set. Or no, Fable wasn't in that set. Either way, I did open up a couple good cards like Ledger Shredder. I opened 2 Ledger Shredders from Streets. But that's besides the point. So Double Masters also had negative value. If you looked at the previous analysis, you would see that Double Masters also had negative value. So is this worse than any other set? Not really. And also, like, being at exactly Gambler's Premium for paying your product is well above what Gambler's Premium usually is. It's usually like a 20% to 40% like hit every time you open product. So I think that this should not necessarily dissuade you, but if you were opening packs to profit, it's probably not the smartest idea to do that. But instead, it should be just something that you have fun and enjoy. And if you value it, buy the product and enjoy the product. So stores are fire selling. Why are they doing this? I think part of this has to do with capital allocation. Wilds of Eldraine releases in a month, and that month they still need to put in their distribution orders, and they need to put up capital to be able to buy the next standard set. And the standard set's probably going to have pretty regular demand. It might be a little bit lower because we're following after 2 premium products, and especially Lord of the Rings had some of the largest amount of purchasers and one of the most successful products, and this one is a very high expensive product, so there might be some wallet fatigue as well. So plus or minus on that. However, they still need to buy enough to fill out drafts. They still need to buy for all the crack packers for people who are playing standard or who people just want new cards, right? We are only seeing reprints in this set, and we saw mostly of the valuable cards were reprints in the prior set as well. So the high capital outlay, it costs $4,400 for a case of collector boxes. Collector boxes come by 24 by the case, and so if you wanted to buy a case, you had to drop basically $4,500 at what I have assumed is a distribution price, and another $2,000 for a set of collector boxes. So you're looking at and that's a $340 per box. From what I've heard from stores on YouTube, basically saying what their distribution costs are. This is pretty expensive, right? So if I wanted just a dozen boxes plus a case of collectors, you're looking close to $12,000, and you're into 5 figures, as opposed to buying, if you're buying boxes at $80 a box, that $12,000 gets you a lot more boxes. It gets you cases and cases and cases, opposed to two cases, right? Part of the problem is also probably fear. They see the dramatic drop in prices, both in the singles market as well as the sealed product, and they're like, "Crap, we need to unload this now. Get this off the books, sell it, get it out of here." And they're worried that they're going to take even further losses. So, will those losses be realized? Well, only when you sell. So it's up to the stores and their own personal business practices to understand when or how they're going to sell, and some of that decision making might be fear motivated. The other one is overhype. They might have bought into the hype at release, thinking this is going to be a great set. People are going to spend a lot of money on it, and then demand isn't where they're at, and they, instead of buying, they bought two cases plus what they would thought was a normal amount of set boxes by boxes, but over leveraged themselves by dollars, right? And so they might have overbought and a greater than normal position. Some sellers on TCG Player or eBay are listing 160 boxes at their certain price, which is close to 54. I think I saw it at $50,000 of total outlay that they're kind of sitting on. And if you're a small business, you know that $50,000 is a pretty substantial amount to be tied up in a product that you think is actually going to be losing money. So they might be selling that, and they might have overbought. That might be one of the key problems. So will it continue to go down? Prices for boxes tend to stay around distribution price, historically speaking. So it's pretty rare that you see a box go below $84 on TCG Player for standard sets, as well as the premium sets tend to stay around what their actual minimum is. And when you see fire sales on Amazon, they're usually a couple dollars, only $5 to $10 under what distribution would actually pay for. This tends to be because people are loss averse and will tend to avoid losses at the expense of gains. So people will just tend to hold on product instead of just selling it and then investing in something more productive. Some stores are desperate to liquidate to raise capital. We talked about this. We have Wilds of Eldraine coming out really soon, and those distribution orders do need to be paid. And if you don't have the capital, then you put yourself in a really big bind where if you default on a distribution payment, distribution might not want to front you more product or sell you more product, or they'd hamper your terms from net 30 to net 0. Pay, or basically just pay on invoice, and then when we deliver it, you'll get what you get, right? And capital rich stores are likely holding down some amount of product and just writing this out. So if you have a large store, those stores are probably going to hold their product longer just because they can. It's not the cash flow situation at large stores or well-financed stores is not going to be as drastic as the ones that are slightly less, have worse cash flow. So once again, every business is a little bit different, every owner is a little bit different, and every owner has a little bit different skill level as well. So that is why. The EV is still near distribution pricing, so opening singles isn't ideal, because if you're opening product, you're then putting more labor into the product, which then is driving costs. So instead of having an employee do it, you're doing it, or you're staying up till midnight cracking packs to then put on TCG Player, and then putting all the effort into shipping every single one of those and creating all the shipping labels for all the singles that you're selling. So that's one way to do it, and it's one way to kind of mitigate your sales on sealed product, is to just sell the singles and put a lot of effort into it. So it's really hard to know if you're going to catch that falling knife, or if you're going to catch it at the bottom, or if you're going to ride it all the way up. So just keep that in mind. And I'm not sure exactly what stores will do here, because it's going to be up to their own personal and independent situations at each store. So that is part of the problem with them. And in conclusion, thanks for watching this quick video. I'm going to be doing a draft tomorrow. It was just a quick little draft. Hopefully we get enough people and have a grand time. It was $50, so it's really hard to turn down at that price. And I hope to open up some really sick cards, and I hope you guys enjoy the same thing as well. Just make sure that when you're opening product, don't look at it like you're just going to make hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Look at this I'll probably maybe break even if I check TCG Player today, but in long term these prices might go down and they might change. So understand that when if you decide to buy a box that you're probably not going to profit on EV, but that's also not the case usually. You're probably going to get about your value, which is still very, very, very good. And if you enjoy your product, keep it up. So, and with that, if you like the video, please like, please drop follow, make a comment if you have any disagreements, or if your set boxes were super phenomenal. I'd want to hear that. And thank you and have a great time.